What's up, my comic comrades? First and foremost, happy Christmas week, everyone. We hope you're all having a healthy and happy holiday season with your family and loved ones. Christmas is without a doubt our favorite time of year, so to celebrate the run-up to Christmas Day, we've got a Spider-Man Christmas story for you that takes place on Christmas Eve in the spectacular Spider-Man issue 173, titled Creature Stirring. It's pretty much a story about Doc Ock wanting to spend Christmas Eve with someone special, and that someone special turns out to be Aunt May. So grab some milk and cookies because it's time for Variant's Kind of Christmas Story. The comic starts off on Christmas Eve with three thugs beating up a guy on the beach. We then see a World of the Worlds looking ship come out of the ocean behind them. One of them says, "Hey, what's that? Some kind of submarine or something?" The blonde-haired dude answers, "Sure, I think I saw one of those on National Geographic once." They use them to study fish, while walking towards it saying, "Someone's gotta be inside," as it starts walking out of the ocean. Then they start hitting it with their bats and crowbars saying, "Maybe he's got a few bucks." At this point, the hatch opens up and they look inside saying, "Hey, something's moving in there." And on the next panel, we see three tentacles come out grabbing the dudes by their necks, as we get a few more panels that show us their feet dangling while we hear a snap sound. Yeah, they just got their necks snapped. We then see it's none other than Dr. Octopus walk out of the submarine saying, "Idiots. Small men with small minds are the bane of my existence. Too often in the past have they disrupted my plans before I could achieve my goals. But on this of all nights, I have no patience for fools. My plans are made, and I will not be distracted or thwarted. Nothing must turn me from my purpose, and this I am determined." He then walks up to a limousine and driver who are waiting for him saying, "Do you know our destination?" The driver replies, "Yes, Dr. Octavius, we are going to Forest Hills, Queens." Were there any special instructions? As he gets in the car and they drive off, Octavius says, "Don't get into an accident and don't call me Dr. Octavius. Only one person may know me by that name. To the rest of the world, I am and must always remain Dr. Octopus." Then while sipping a martini, he picks up a photo album saying, "Let the world curse the name of Octopus. I don't care, so long as this one person knows me as the man I was, the man I could have been. The rest of humanity may hang," as we see him look at pictures of Aunt May, telling us she's the special person he wants to see. Now, a little bit of backstory for those of you wondering why the heck Octavius is in love with Aunt May. Well, back in the 80s and early 90s, Aunt May wasn't the brightest bulb on the Christmas tree. For some reason, she never believed all the bad things people would say about him because, you know, he's a villain. She just thought he was a perfect gentleman as he treated her nicely, and because of this, she began to have feelings for him and vice versa. This leads to him eventually marrying her in the Amazing Spider-Man issue 131 because he likes her, but because it's also part of his latest scheme. The marriage didn't work out, it didn't even last one issue, but Octavius still always had feelings for her as we're currently seeing in this issue. Just figured I'd shed some clarity on why Octavius wants to see Aunt May on Christmas Eve. Anyway, the comic then takes us to May Parker's house, where we see May has made cookies, and Mary Jane and her cousin Christy, along with Willie Lumpkin, her new boyfriend, are decorating the Christmas tree. Fun fact, Willie Lumpkin was not only May's boy toy at this time, he's also the mailman for the Fantastic Four. Stan Lee even cameoed as Willie in the 2005 Fantastic Four movie. Anyway, the four of them continue decorating for Christmas and eating cookies while they wait for Peter. Christy even asks Mary Jane, "When is Peter gonna show up?" She responds, "He had to drop by the Daily Bugle, but he'll be here soon. At which point, we're gonna give this mistletoe one heck of a workout." Anyway, we are then taken to Manhattan, where Spider-Man is swinging through the city as it's snowing, where he's making his way to the Daily Bugle's Christmas Eve party. But he spots some thugs stealing money from a Santa Claus collecting charity money, so of course Spider-Man intervenes and webs up the thugs saying, "Not bad. Can use a bow, but fairly effective." But as Spider-Man does this, we see Nick Katzenberg take a picture of Spider-Man saying, "I got it all on film." Spider-Man's spider sense goes off saying, "What?" As we see Katzenberg driving off saying, "Spider-Man assaults innocent kids out for holiday fun. Jameson's gonna buy this in a second." For the non-diehard Spider-Man fans out there, Nick Katzenberg was a photographer for the Daily Bugle and just a downright douchebag, one of the biggest ones you'd ever meet. And needless to say, he hates Spider-Man and pretty much everyone else. As Katzenberg drives off, Spider-Man says, "Dirty slime licking," but the fake Santa Claus says, "Easy, kiddo. That's just the way of the world these days. Even Santa Claus don't get no respect." Spidey then swings off saying, "Ain't that the truth?" On the next page, we see Pete finally make his way to the Daily Bugle Christmas party, where he changes out of his blue and red spandex and walks in late as usual, where Jameson dressed as Santa says, "Ho ho ho, Parker, get your butt in here and have a good time." Peter then says, "J. Jonah Jameson as Santa Claus? Now I've seen everything." Pete and Jameson then exchange presents only to realize they got each other the same exact tie. Pete then starts mingling with Betty Brant and Robbie Robertson. Pete then gives Robbie a new smoking pipe and Betty walks over saying, "Anything left in your bag of goodies?" He answers, "Something special, Betty, for Mary Jane. I saved every cent for months, skipped lunches, even dinners." As he pulls out a hand-carved crystal, he tells her MJ saw it and figured we could never afford it. As he's holding the crystal up, a voice says, "Bird for a broad, Parker?" Pete then says, "Oh thrill, my evening is complete." As we see it's Katzenberg continuing to say, "You got some sweet treat waiting for you at home, hot and spicy, right from the oven? Think I could get a piece of that Christmas pie myself, Pally? As he nudges Pete with his elbow. Peter the whole time is trying to not let Katzenberg get to him, but finally says, nope, that does it, and nudges him back, causing him to knock the crystal bird off the table it was on top of. As the bird smashes on the ground, Katzenberg says, too bad, but you of all people should know, Parker, pretty birds are cheap. With that last insult to Peter's wife, he grabs Katzenberg by the collar, saying, if you ever make another crack about my wife, I'll rip your bloody head off from your shoulders. As he slams him down face first into a bowl of punch while he crashes through a table. After he does this, he instantly says, what have I done? The stress, Nick's constant digs. It finally happened. I lost control. Peter then tells Jameson, sorry, really sorry, I'll leave. Katzenberg then says, I'll sue you for everything. Hey, I'm on the floor here. Isn't somebody gonna do something? But he then tells him, you ask when I'm holding a glass full of eggnog? That's brave, Nick. He says funny, and when people eventually help him up, Jameson in his Santa outfit says, who's gonna clean this mess up? We are then taken back to Peter, who's back in his Spider-Man costume swinging through the snow, making his way back to Aunt May's house. While saying, that was close. My powers give me a huge responsibility, and if I ever totally lost my head, I could hurt someone. Bad. But as he rounds the corner on Queens Boulevard, his spider sense goes off as he sees a limo. He then says that limousine parked in front of Aunt May's. It doesn't belong there, but it doesn't seem to be dangerous. Has to be something else, or someone. Did I say my evening was complete? I was wrong. As he sees Dr. Octopus outside Aunt May's window in the snow. We then see Octavius say to himself as he looks at Aunt May with her new boyfriend and family, I thought I might belong here. I was wrong. May Parker was the only woman who was ever kind to me. I hoped we could spend that special time together, but she already has warmth, her family, her friends, a tableau in which I would only be an embarrassment. No, there's but one thing I could give that sweet lady now, a peaceful, undisturbed Christmas Eve. All right, driver, I'm ready. It's actually kind of sad. Octavius genuinely wanted to spend Christmas Eve with the woman he loves. The only woman who's ever been nice to him, but she's taken. And as he goes to leave, he spots Spider-Man saying, you. And Spidey says, that's right, Doc. I've had a bad night, and you're threatening Miss Parker is the last straw. Spider-Man attacks Dr. Octopus, but Octavius says, I didn't come here to combat you, you moron, but in my current frame of mind, I welcome it. The two then start fighting each other in the snow in front of May's house, with Dr. Octopus saying, you have to do better than that, Slugger. With 6 arms, dear boy, I can. I got you now. As he puts one of his tentacles around Spider-Man's neck, Spider-Man grabs Octavius's neck saying, Ock, you took the words right out of my mouth. But again, they're fighting in front of Aunt May's house, and when she hears the commotion, she comes outside saying, oh my. At which point they let go of each other, and Octavius says, I let emotions overcome intellect. Accomplished precisely what I sought to avoid. He then tells Aunt May, dear lady, forgive me. The last thing in the world I wanted was to disrupt your merriment. Please, carry on. He then turns to Spider-Man saying, I'm sure we can continue our discussion at a later time. Spider-Man replies, count on it, and when Doc Ock goes to leave, Spider-Man tells himself he does seem sorry. Stranger still, he even seems a little sad. As he leaves, Aunt May says, that was Dr. Octavius, but why didn't he come in? She then tells Spider-Man, the paper says you're a hero, but if you drove poor Otto away, Spider-Man then tells her, I'm not sure I'm a hero, ma'am. Maybe on Christmas Eve, no one is a hero or a villain. And with that, the issue ends. And there you have it, friends, Spider-Man Creature Stirring. This is actually a sad Christmas story because Octavius just wanted to spend Christmas Eve with the woman he cares about, but ultimately finds out she's moved on and is taken. And rather than do the stereotypical villain thing and kill, kidnap, or get rid of the boyfriend somehow, he puts her happiness over his and just lets her enjoy her life and loved ones. Which proves he truly does love May Parker. Because that's what real love is, right? Putting someone else's feelings, emotions, and everything else before yours. Which makes it all the more sad, but also shows Dr. Octopus has a soft side, and maybe the holidays and definitely Aunt May bring them out. But anyway, what do you guys think of this Spider-Man Dr. Octopus Christmas story? Let us know in the comments. And that's going to bring today's episode to a close. But if you like today's video, check that one right here. And if you like all of our content, subscribe, like, and comment. It always helps the channel out. But other than that, I'll see you guys next time when I talk about all things comics. Also, Merry Christmas.